All narcissists are the same, and the sooner you guys accept that, the better off you will be. Well, if you believe that statement, then you're just one of millions that do. If you're new to my page, I am a self-aware narcissist. I also have borderline personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, as if you couldn't tell by my page. Saying that all narcissists are the same is actually completely false. And if you think that we're all the same, just because some of us say the same things, do the same things, our behaviors are the same in a lot of ways. I mean, I used to think that too. I used to think that all narcissists were the same, all borderlines were the same. Well, they do the exact same pattern of idealization, devalue, discard. It's all the same, right? They all say the same things. They all have the same excuses, the same manipulation tactics. And where that is all true, all narcissists are not the same. I mean, look at me, for instance. If you watch my page at all, you'll see that I have a hodgepodge of like different things that I do on my page. I do some comedy stuff on my page to kind of keep things lighthearted. I do very serious things on my page. I speak in very serious undertones sometimes. Some of you guys say I'm a chameleon because you're like, man, your personality is never the same on any of the videos that we see you in. And then on top of that, I also throw in a lot of other doctors on my page, you know, Lisa LeBlanc, Otto Ernsberg. I mean, I throw Sam Vatkin on there. I throw a lot of different people on there because I don't want you guys to all think that we are all the same, because we're not. I mean, there's so many different comorbid disorders that go along with NPD. I mean, look at me. I've got BPD, NPD, HPD, CPTSD. I've got OCD. I've got hopefully no STDs. In any case, we are not all the same. I mean, if you look at my personality, it's all over the place most of the time. If you look at other self-aware narcissists on TikTok, look at Cluster B Milkshake, look at the Nameless Narcissist, look at Lee Hammock, just to name a few. We are not all the same. And some of us have comorbid disorders that fluctuate and change our personalities. And then honestly, we're all individuals too. We all have our own way of doing things. Part of the reason for my channel is to actually bring awareness to you guys so that you guys know what you're looking for, know what to look out for, and know that all these stigmas and all of these mainstream versions of narcissists are not actually the case. I mean, I think I'm totally different than a lot of those other ones, and I know they're different than me. Now, with that all being said, I want to give you some factors that might actually make your narcissist or the person that you were involved with kind of explain why they might have been a little different, factors that maybe you guys haven't thought about, all right? And things that you don't always know. For instance, in order to be diagnosed as a narcissist, there are 9 criteria that you have to meet, all right? Now, you only have to meet 5 of those 9 criteria. And let me give you a couple examples of those criteria. Being extremely entitled, self-absorbed, that is a trait of narcissism. That's one of the 9 traits. Envious of others and having them being envious of you or believing that they're envious of you, that's another one of the traits. Lack of empathy is one of the traits, okay? So you could actually, as a narcissist, have none of those 3 traits and still be diagnosed as a narcissist. Because the other 6 that you had, or maybe you had 5 of the other 9. You know, I'm not going to name them all off in the sake of time, but all narcissists are not the same, just like all borderlines are not the same. There's 9 criteria for both borderline and NPD, and so that means that you could have 256 basic combinations of the same disorder. I mean, you could have 2 narcissists that they only have 2 overlapping symptoms. So that should tell you enough right there that they're not all the same. Secondly, it's on a spectrum, guys. If you have someone who's say they are entitled, say they do have one of those criteria, that doesn't mean that they are high spectrum entitlement. They could be low spectrum. I mean, quite honestly, I'm a pretty low spectrum narcissist, believe it or not. I don't suffer nearly as much as a lot of other narcissists suffer who are high spectrum, and I don't suffer as much as a lot of BPDs. My BPD is very quiet. I do internalize a lot of things. I do end up making it all about me inside and saying, I fucked up, I did something I wasn't supposed to do. I don't really blame it on my partners as much. The only time that my symptoms come out is when I'm responding to a trauma response, or when somebody triggers me, or it brings me back to my childhood or my teenage years. So if you will keep in mind that not everybody has the exact same symptoms, that there are 5 of 9 to be diagnosed, and taking account that there's so many comorbid disorders that go into these things, to say that all narcissists, all borderlines, all sociopaths, psychopaths are all the same, that's just ignorant, quite honestly, completely ignorant. And so just don't buy into the hype, guys. I mean, We can get on here and I can tell you about narcissists all day long. I can put doctors' videos on here all day long for you, but just keep in mind, toxic is toxic, and it doesn't really matter what that person was, whether they were borderline, NPD, BPD. It's good to know these signs, but at the end of the day, get out of a toxic situation. All right, guys? I hope that helps.